what a grab your seat thriller. I don't remember the word for it. It's something. It made me nervous. The whole game was anxiety inducing. I mean, the notes practically haven't changed from last week's, where I just wrote holy choice word and then defense. Because I mean, we were down 21-0 at half. Like, what do you say to that for tackling and defensive play?
Yeah, I think the defense in the first half versus the defense in the second half was kind of two completely different units. I mean, the first half they struggled immensely, especially against the run, which that has kind of been a trend through the first couple games. They did horrible against Oregon State. They kind of did better against Arizona, and then against Utah, it was another poor rush defense showing by this Husky defense. And they kind of flipped the switch, I guess, in the second half. Apparently, Elijah Molden was very vocal in the locker room and really got them going. And he even had a key interception that second half that kept them getting that momentum, just piling up the momentum, and that really helped them flip the switch. But something that really impressed me was Dylan Morris's composure. I mean, he's a redshirt freshman making his third ever start in college football. And in the first half, let's face it, he did not look good at all. I mean, he threw 2 interceptions. I'll give him a pass on the one because it was just a Hail Mary heave at the end of the first half. But the first interception that he threw was horrible. It was right to the defender. He must just not have seen him some reason, but it was not a good interception. And he faced all the adversity right there. You're down 21-0 against this Utah team that's hungry for its first win, as the first 2 games they played got canceled and then they lost to USC. And you're down 21-0, and how does he respond? The first 3 drives coming out of the half, they go touchdown, field goal, touchdown. So now all of a sudden, with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, the Huskies are only down 21-17, which, I mean, that's a close game. You're in it the rest of the way, but the adversity doesn't stop there, because then 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, Dylan Morris throws his 3rd interception. So here you are, he's like, oh boy, I just lost the game for us. I just cost it. But luckily, the Husky defense stepped up big time, 3 and out. Utah actually lost, I believe, 9 yards that drive and punted it back. So here it is. Dylan Morris has the ball in his hands, 4 minutes to go. Show us what you got, win the game for us. And all he does is lead them on this extremely, extremely methodical drive that takes up all 4 minutes of the 4 minutes and 21 seconds. He converts 2 third downs, a 3rd and 10 he converted, and really just takes this Husky team and ends it with a 16-yard touchdown pass to Cade Otton. Just the composure that he had to show in order to stay in the game, stay focused throughout all the adversity he faced, that really impressed me.
No, I mean, yeah, I did say great job to the offense in my notes, but I am not counting the first half in that statement. I mean, adversity, yes, and like composure are great things, but when you have an offense that just doesn't score in an entire half, like, it's really hard. Except when you count the comeback win where they go a scoreless second half for the other team, and then your offense ends up winning the game. Like, that's when it's a great job. But I feel like in 99% of cases, when your offense just doesn't score in 2 quarters, you just have to say, like, what are you guys doing? But Morris had like a really good day for being a freshman. He 23 for 38, I think you said, and 2 touchdown passes, 272 total passing yards for the night. And then I just have to point out Otton again, 2 games in a row after coming off of that first game where he got like almost nothing, 8 for 108, and both of those TD receptions were his. 0 fumbles or turnovers of any kind through 3 games for Otton as well. So he's having an absolutely amazing season. But I mean, I don't want to touch too much on like players because we have that key player segment coming up. But I mean, like ZTF again as well. Like ZTF and Otton just both keep coming up in the conversation each week about like, hey, he was doing a good job. Like, yeah, Morris is keeping well. He's doing absolutely amazing for his age and his grade level. And then Otton and ZTF are just kind of carrying the rest of the game on their shoulders with help here and there from other people. And that's pretty much how the Utah game went. That's how the Oregon State game went. And that's how I feel like the Arizona game went. And these are starting to sound a little repetitive for who we keep naming. But what happens, you know.
I mean, you gotta name the players who are impressing us, and the same guys keep coming back over and over again. ZTF will get more into him later on, but each week he seems to be improving and getting better and better. Otten had the bad first week, but since then he's looked amazing. He's looked like a NFL prospect for next year. And then touching on like the defensive back group as a whole has impressed me immensely. Yeah. I mean, it's almost lockdown against all these passers the Huskies are going up against. Very hard to get any sort of completions going, any sort of deep passes. And that's one of the reasons that the Huskies really need to shore up this run defense, as if they can do that, then the sky's the limit for them, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, because if you look at what the secondary's done is they gave up only 144 passing yards in what was like a really disgusting first half with like an okay second half for their offense. But I mean, throughout the Pac-12, we're still ranked first in pretty much every category, I think, in terms of passing defense. And then surprisingly ranked fourth in the Pac-12 for rush defense, which isn't terrible. I mean, you go through, I guess you have to kind of rank up there, even if one faculty of your defense is a little lacking. But I guess then just like a quick touch on before about the Utah game that some people might know about is that, well, they might have noticed that we were missing Richard Newton, sophomore running back who led the week prior, 81 yards, 10.1 average a carry, and two TDs against our week 2 opponent. We were also missing our Arizona. Thank you. I almost said Oregon State. I was like, I'm just gonna say week 2 because I might get it wrong. Good job. I didn't say it. And we also were missing our senior outside linebacker, Ryan Bowman, who got, Nathan, according to you, if you have this right, and I think you are, who was replaced with a guy who then had 7 sacks, right?
Yeah, Latu was supposed to be the starting outside linebacker, and then out of nowhere comes ZTF, who's got 7 sacks on the year. Getting into something else from the Utah game, though, just looking at something that disappointed me, and he's kind of been a disappointment this whole season, I guess we could call it, and that's the kicker, Peyton Henry. He was against Utah. He was 1 for 2 on field goals. His long for the season is 26 yards. Not very impressive. He's 4 for 7 overall. He's 57% on field goals. He hasn't made anything. He's 0 for 0 from 30 to 39, so he hasn't kicked one of those. And then from 40 plus, he's 0 for 2. So no really long-range confidence there. I mean, last year he was a 90% kicker, and for some reason this year, he has not shown up at all. I'd be extremely nervous if we were to put the game in his hands from any distance. I mean, he's missed about a 27-yarder, I think it might have been. He's missed one of those. It was against Utah. He's only 4 for 5 from 20 to 29. So overall, something's wrong. He's got to talk with the special teams coach and figure that out. I don't know if it's a holding issue or what the issue is, but hopefully they can figure that out, because you need to have a kicker that can kick field goals if you want to beat top-tier teams, especially, I mean, maybe against Stanford, they'll need an important kick, and hopefully he comes through, especially against Oregon, one of the top 25 team. You're going to need your kicker to make the field goals when they go out there.
Yeah, absolutely.